Hey guys!
Hello!
We are live in the media center of Eurovision 2024 in Malmö, Sweden. We have Chris, we have Clara, and we have Fred, and of course I'm Jess, as always.
I think we can't show a screen actually.
I mean, it's quite light today.
Should we
But
move this way a little bit? Just in case anything. We're just shifting our perspective. Please bear with us. Right. We are coming.
I was going to say, is there another screen? But no,
No,
poster.
you can.
Are you comfortable down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can hit this.
So we have ESC Nerd, who is Justin from Eurovoxx. Hello to you.
Hello.
So we've obviously just seen like a dress rehearsal of the dress rehearsal, essentially, because of course for a second year running we don't have juries voting in the semi-final, so we don't have a jury final, but we have what they're calling now a dress rehearsal, and we've seen the complete run through of like the hosts coming on stage, the performances and the interval acts and opening acts. But just to kind of sum it up, what are you thinking of the whole show so far? Anyone?
Oh my god, it's amazing. It's such a dream. The producers have done such a good job. All of the fantasy like that was possible to have on stage, it's happening. Because we have Eleni Fureira and Chanel on stage. They are not interacting, but they are on the same stage. And that is amazing. And there are a lot of not surprise acts because they've been announced, but the way they've developed it is amazing. It's surprising. It's so visually pleasing. It's so well done. It's a masterpiece of art. At least the first half of the show, it's amazing.
Yeah, honestly, from being in the arena as well, watching it, just the production level behind it, SVT has not spared anything. You're in for a treat for these live shows, watching it on TV, because it's incredible.
Yeah, the lights and the atmosphere that it creates, it just really immerses you into the contest. And I think it's one of the ones that's going to stand out in memory.
Oh, yeah.
The way it's being presented.
100%. I agree with everything you said. It's like a burst of color on stage, like the graphics, the outfits, even the hosts are wearing. Everything is so colorful, and it's like, you know, just so fun as Eurovision is. But it seems more fun this year, I think.
It's colorful in a way that they have really good taste when adjusting the color levels, because there's no heavy contrast, there's nothing banded really well together, and that's why it's so visually pleasant.
Yeah,
I agree.
100%. Let's go to the chat. We have Drows. Hello to you. He's asking, or she's asking, if Ukraine can win.
Yes.
It's possible.
Absolutely.
And he's also nodding his head behind us.
Seeing that staging and the way it looks on camera as well.
Maybe we can start with the country that has surprised us the most.
Yeah, of course. We did have a question from Justin in the chat. Who was your biggest grower from the first rehearsal clips until now? Gosh, there's so much choice.
Okay, for me, and that's going to answer the comment under it, it's going to be Cyprus. Cyprus, oh my god, it wasn't my favorite song. It wasn't the song I had much expectation, and I didn't think it was gonna qualify, but I can see it qualifying 100%.
Yeah.
The way they have managed to play with the blue lights on the stage is super clever. They're all dressed in white, and then Silia is dressed in white for sure. The dancers definitely have a white t-shirt, and then the lights, they have a string of lights that create circles and shapes and burst up, down, and they are like the whole choreograph is very built in to the way the lights flow off and on the stage, and it's so beautiful. It has really elevated the song. The camera angles, guys, that is mind-blowing. That is really mind-blowing. Congratulations, Cyprus. It's really amazing.
Yeah, Cyprus for me just comes across well on stage, and it's a great opener to Eurovision into the semi-final. I don't think they're going to have any problems qualifying with that, to be honest.
Great. I think rolling off of the opening act as well with Eleni and Chanel. Like, yeah, exactly. Like going on to another girl bar, it just seems so so fitting. And straight away going into like a dance clubby song, it just works so well, and it's like Eurovision has like truly begun.
Yeah, the flow just goes right in.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, no, I agree with you, Clara, there 100%.
Fred, do you have any answers for this?
For Cyprus, again, this is one of the ones that we thought might be in the danger zone. Because sometimes her vocal can struggle when she's really busting a move. But more power to her. I mean, she's really selling it, and she's really giving it her all. I think she's going to do well.
Yeah, and going back to the question, what's grown on us since the first rehearsal clips, we need to talk about Ireland, because
So much to unpack.
they are delivering probably the best staging they've ever sent in their whole Eurovision history. And especially if you compare this year's participation to last year's, the glow up is just insane. I'm not the biggest fan of the song, but the staging is just incredible. What are you guys thinking of Ireland and Bambi Thug?
I was absolutely, when I saw this on the screen, I was just gobsmacked. And we saw also Bambi showed her in the kind of the viewing room after the first rehearsal. And she wasn't happy. They weren't happy. And the kind of control that they've had over the staging, they're a perfectionist. And that shows in this final project. And it just looks absolutely stunning.
The story is really strong, and it comes across. It's almost watching like a 3-minute film. And could be an episode of Buffy, but yeah, it has that sort of appeal and that sort of draw to it. I 100% they're going to qualify.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
You were in the arena watching it live.
Yeah.
Could you also see the screen? Is it the same thing
Yes.
happening on screen and on stage?
It's quite
There's no
different.
effects they're using digitally.
No, what I would say is so much of the staging this year actually comes from up above. The use of the blocks above the stage and the way they move, it's amazing to watch. Again, that goes back to the staging and production. But for Bambi Thug, I really think they've made the staging for they've tailored it, to how it should look on screen, and it's just stunning. It really is. You feel like you're not even watching Eurovision. It's like a mystical film or something. And it's certainly memorable. So I think, well done, Ireland, so far. The only way is up.
100%. And guys in the chat, what do you think of Ireland? Have you seen their rehearsal clips? Have you seen the photos? Do you like the song? Let us know what you think of Ireland. But let's go back to the chat, if I can get it up. Sarah O'Halloran, you're asking us to tell you about today. Well, today we obviously have the dress rehearsal for the first semi-final of this year's Eurovision. And we've seen a dress rehearsal of the dress rehearsal taking place tonight, ahead of the live show tomorrow. Let's go back. We have Miguel Viegas asking, what about Serbia? I think Serbia is in danger this year.
Yeah, I mean, it is beautiful. Her voice is lovely. It's very simple staging, but I think it just gets a bit lost amongst the set. And again, it's all about remembering things. And
I think any other year this would do really well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just such a strong year. It really is. There's so many different countries that could advance, could not advance, and ultimately there are going to be some of our favourites that don't make it. But I'll tell you what, the first half of this show is remarkable. It really is.
It's just about how the show has been built and how the storyline of the show is flowing. That we have super strong, powerful songs that open the show with the opening acts, and then we have Cyprus, and then she's followed by Lithuania, which is another very powerful banger. So unfortunately, I think Teodora is going to get lost.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's been done dirty with the running order. I think it's really not helping her at all, which is such a shame, because when it won the Serbian national final, I thought this is a short qualifier, but I think I've been proven wrong, sadly. But guys, if you are new here, new to Eurovoxx, don't forget to subscribe. We are on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We also have a website, Eurovoxx.tv, where we have all the latest Eurovision, Junior Eurovision, and National Final news. So don't forget to give us a visit, subscribe to us, tell your friends and family about us, your neighbours even, because we do live videos like this quite often. So if you like what you see, please come back and join us. Let's go back to the chat. We have Only Me asking about Croatia.
Oh, it's my winner. It's amazing.
Yeah.
His vocals are amazing, are perfect. You know, last year what hindered Karia from the victory was that his vocals, like the singing part, was not perfect. Baby Lasagna nails all of his vocals. I remember there was some worries about how his live vocals were after the national performance and in some party. He has been working on those vocals, the grasp, his I don't know. It's just a perfect product. The lighting is beautiful on stage. It's a perfect blend of traditional elements and modern. That's very difficult to achieve without looking crazy. It's my winner. It's perfect. It's finished. That can go and win.
Yeah, I mean, it falls in a perfect spot as well. As the semifinal flows, it will 100% stand out amongst the rest. We weren't sure about how the staging would incorporate the song and whether it was going to be as big, but he really delivers and really sells the performance.
Yeah, so do you think Croatia is still a contender to win Eurovision this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would agree too. But guys in the chat, do you think Croatia could win Eurovision? Let us know. So we're probably going to just be going through the countries in a random order according to the comments, I guess. So let's go to this comment by Nectar. What do you think about the Luxembourg rehearsal?
They have. Sorry, I'm taking one.
That's fine.
Go for it.
They have really great 30 seconds at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's visually amazing. It is when everything comes together, like visually and coherently. It's like the climax of the song. Everything goes. And what Luxembourg needs at the moment to perfect is the camera angles, because they are taken from too far away. If they were some of the longer shots where you can see the whole stage and the dancers and Tali, if they were closed up a little more and like reflected on the composition, they would be perfect. But the last 30 seconds really sell the whole performance.
I agree with you there, Clara. I think Tali is so she's got so much expression when she sings, and so much emotion that if there were some more kind of closer camera angle shots, then it would definitely do Luxembourg favours. But still, being last in the running order, I feel like this is going to be the last thing in people's minds in this semi-final. So I think that will bode well for them.
I think that's going to be the key thing that takes them through, because I think as a song, it falls in this sort of the 8 to 12, probability area. But the fact that that last 30 seconds really explodes and the last song, it means that they're going to be in the forefront of everyone's memory.
Yeah. So you said obviously they fall in the 8 to 12 category. Do you think there's a possibility they won't qualify?
There's a possibility. I think the positions could very easily move, just like we were originally speaking that Australia could possibly be in trouble, Portugal could be in trouble. There's lots of songs that could go up and down just by little things on the night that could happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the staging we've seen from Tali and her team was a massive glow up from the national final, and I think it works very well. I'm not 100% liking all of the graphics that come up on screen. Some of them, we see some animal images coming up, which I don't think fully work for the song, but the rest of it I think is working, and I think we're going to see Luxembourg qualifying, I think. Let's go back to the chat. ESC Nerd, you feel justified putting Ireland in your top 3 qualifiers? It is finished. What is finished? What about Portugal? Do we think Portugal's done enough to qualify?
I think the song is correct. I think they've done everything they could to make something visual and impactful, but there's still something that's not yet coming across and leaves me a little cold inside. But it's not the fault of the singer. Yolanda sings perfectly, and it's just there's something missing. Maybe something more Portuguese because this performance could be as it is visually from any country.
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% correct. When she delivers that vocal, you know you kind of feel it inside, but the fact that it's leaving you cold because it's not giving you a story, it's not giving you expression. If it had a bit of a Portuguese influence, 100%, I believe that it would sell that angle. But and again, where it falls in the running order, it could be easily forgotten, especially if she's in white, so it just sort of fades away.
But I think it's exactly what you said. There's no story there, or I can't. If there's one, I can't.
There is a story there,
Yes.
but I think it's being in Portuguese. Unless you know Portuguese fluently, it's not directly translated. Seeing it first time, which a lot of people will be seeing it in the semi-final for the first time, which I think is a shame because it has got a lot of meaning behind it.
Yeah. I mean, on stage, like
Exactly.
It's the story that they can portray for the people who don't speak Portuguese, which will be the majority of the
Absolutely.
audience.
Yeah,
So,
completely agree. Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of thinking, it's one of the few ballads this year, and also really the only other ballad in this semi-final is Serbia. And so I'm thinking that potentially could work in their favour, perhaps, and it might help them to stand out amongst the more up-tempo things like Finland, Luxembourg, Croatia, for example. So I think I would be leaning more towards qualification for Portugal, just, I guess, for that reason.
yeah, if they do get in, I think they will squeak in.
Yes.
So let's go back to the chat. There's a lot of you commenting, so if I don't get to all of your comments, I do apologise. We have ESC Holland. Hey Eurovoxx, my best friend Nelly Sangria has her birthday today. Could you say happy birthday to her?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Nelly.
What a wonderful name, Nelly Sangria. It sounds
Yes.
like you're an artist ready to perform for us.
Yeah. Let's go on. LET, you're saying Croatia won't win. The juries will tank it.
not necessarily, because we tend to think that the juries will favor ballads, and that's not necessarily the case.
No.
Also, the musical production of the track is very well built, and I hope, and I guess the jury are professionals, so I think it could be. I don't think the juries will tank it. Not that I've spoken to many juries, but people that.
I mean, Korea did fine with the juries.
Yes.
It didn't harm him, that sort of style, and arguably Croatia has got a better, tighter song altogether.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting this year to see how the juries score.
Yeah, absolutely.
And traditionally it's always been for the more kind of vocally challenging songs or ballads. But as we saw with the likes of Carrier last year, they do like that kind of thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how the demographic has changed, if it has for this year. And if they like it, and if they like the likes of Croatia, like I say, it could go well for them. So.
And of course, Baby Lasagna did win the jury vote in Dora as well. Yeah. So potentially then that could maybe prove it does have jury potential to get at least a decent result, perhaps. But guys in the live chat, what are your thoughts on Croatia? Do you think they're going to win? Do you think juries are going to go for them? Let us know what you think, and keep your questions and your thoughts, your ideas coming in. We'd love to hear them. Let's go back to the chat. Dennis, you think Croatia will be third maximum? Clara, mother of camera angles.
Queen, stunning.
Matthew P, you think Australia's underrated this year? How was their dress rehearsal?
This is an interesting one. From my point of view, not a lot has changed since it was first introduced to us, and it's almost, I think, it peaked a bit early, if that makes sense. we saw his outfit on the red carpet. He hasn't changed, and I don't know. I really want Australia to be there, but I just think they may again struggle. It could be one of those ones that's in potential danger. I like the song, but when I first heard the song, I wasn't a fan. So again, people hearing it for the first time might have a similar impression.
I think there's a lack of coherence on the stage. I'm not sure what story. I mean, if I listen to the lyrics, yes, of course, there's a storyline, and we interviewed them, and they've explained what the song is about. But I don't see how it is. I don't think it's very well translated on the staging, and it also feels quite empty for the first half of the song when it's just the two singers. And I love them as a duo, but their personalities on stage for this song are kind of mismatched.
Yeah.
One is extremely loud and visual, and wow, you can't stop looking at him. And the other one is sort of hiding behind the piano, behind the keyboard, and it takes a little. It's like you have this force, and then you have this more personal maybe approach to the song, and then all of the singers come, all of the dancers come, and then the guy with the
didgeridoo.
With the didgeridoo. And there's like too many pieces that not necessarily make a puzzle.
I was waiting for that big wow moment with Australia. I think visually it's beautiful. I absolutely love the colours that they've used. But yeah, I think and the vocals as well on point.
Yeah.
But I think, similarly to what you said, Clara, I think it could just do something a bit more wow towards the last 30 seconds of the song that we're not currently getting watching it on stage. But hey, it might look better on screen. So.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Actually, there's lots of pieces to Australia, but they don't necessarily fit together all that well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I pretty much agree with everything you've said and with what Clara said. It feels quite empty at the beginning, and then it does sort of pick up with the addition of more people on stage, but it is very mismatched. I still have them down as a qualifier, but knowing my track record, they're probably not going to qualify, so there we go. Gosh, let's go to another country now. Rolf Hand is asking, what about Slovenia? Okay, take it away, Fred.
This again, this is one of the ones that I quite like. It's one of the okay songs that's on my playlist. I've grown to sort of love it, but there's just a lot of ooh-ah.
What is that supposed to be?
No, she's sort of, I guess she just
sirens it.
Yeah, and it just doesn't flow very well for me. The dancers, the way the song builds, and the way it incorporates into the staging. Again, I think there's a slight mismatch here. I mean, the outfit is different. It has that sort of sheer nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely sheer. That's one way to describe it.
But I really sort of want to know about Veronica, and I want to know what Veronica, is. But I don't feel I know by the end, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like with Portugal, they're not really telling much of a story on stage, or I can't seem to work out the story they're trying to tell. The staging does look visually very good, but it's also, I think for me, a bit confusing. I don't know whether any of you guys...
I was about to just say Portugal.
The same?
Oh, she said just like Portugal.
Just like
Sorry, guys. Andy's sitting right behind us, editing videos.
Judging.
Heckling.
He's judging.
I've said all along, I absolutely love Slovenia. It's one of my favourites, songs. But I was actually a little bit disappointed watching it, which makes me really sad. Because I think it's a really dramatic performance, but I just felt like it's surrounding participants in this semi-final, kind of drown it out a little bit. But the dancers and of course Rave, just so talented.
Yeah, 100%.
For me, it's visually engaging to look at. but some of the angles or some of the movements get lost, and I think there would be maybe a slightly better, clever way of filming it, I think. And I understand what they've tried to do with some of the angles, especially when Raven is scrolling away and then they follow her. The kind of color palette is very, for me, visually quite attractive. But the figures they try to build together with all of their bodies, there's something that still a little chaotic for my OCD, for my stage OCD, which is the only OCD I have.
Okay.
Nowhere.
So it seems like we're a bit of a split camp on Slovenia there. But what do you guys think in the chat? I'm also seeing a lot of new faces in the chat that I've not seen before. So if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to us. Well, no, I can't see new names, new faces. You know
Welcome,
what I mean?
guys,
Yes, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Please subscribe to us. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and we have a website, Eurovoxx.tv, so be sure to check that out too. And let's go back to all of you new faces in the chat. Great question from Justin, ESC Nerd. How did you feel the flow of the show went with the Big Five and the host thrown into the mix? Good question.
As the host, when Malin said, it's giving them an excuse to make the show a lot longer,
Yes.
which I personally
Yes.
enjoy very much.
Yeah, I loved it.
And it is a family show, but people should tell that to the kids when they see the UK perform, or the parents should be warned that they are going to have to give some explanations.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I was waiting with anticipation for the moment that we could actually see the Big
Yeah.
Five in Sweden.
They
So-
stood out as well. I
Yes.
tell you what.
Yeah.
Like,
My
I'm
boys
not-
are going to do us proud.
Yeah, I tell you what.
Which ones
There's
are your boys?
Sweden.
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 Because you're
I thought you meant
UK.
the
Got
UK.
you on Ollie.
Yeah. That's why I am.
Can we talk about the Big Five?
Yeah.
Separately?
Yeah, let's go
Yes.
for it.
But we'll start with Ollie for the UK.
Yeah.
I was shocked, and I think this hasn't necessarily got been given the most credit since the song has come out.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, the staging, however saucy you think it is so engaging. And I tell you what, the last 30 seconds
Yeah.
of this performance is incredible.
Goosebumps.
It's
Amazing.
the budget they've used here. You can tell Ollie you can kind of tell the difference between someone who's not been on stage compared to someone like
Yes.
Ollie, who is so experienced at big events.
Yeah.
He works that stage and that arena with no crowd. So
Yeah,
just
yeah.
imagine what it's going to be like in the grand final on the semis.
Absolutely.
Actually, you were there, and the box. How does it look on stage, on a steady stage? Because
Yeah.
for us, he looks upside down. He looks here. He looks there. Is there a box that's moving? Or
It's kind of disorientating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Watching
Yeah.
it on screen. But yeah, when you're watching it on stage, it's all. I tell you, because I went down to the stage itself, so at the standing part, and it looks incredible. It's all quite stationary.
Yeah.
But do you see it moving though? The
No,
box?
No, it
so-
stays still.
Yeah, the box
Also,
is
the actual
stationary.
box isn't moving.
The actual box isn't moving, but
Why did I think it was
the
moving?
dancers are upside down
Yeah,
for a
they're
very
using
long
their
time.
their
Oh, they're
acrobatic
actually
skills.
upside down.
Yes, they are hanging upside down.
Okay.
They are all different angles. I tell you what, you need some chalk on hands or something something to hang
Yeah,
on.
it's
Wow.
you're a gymnast. You know how that
Exactly,
is.
yeah, because sweaty palms, you don't want it for that.
Yeah.
But it's, honestly, the creativity behind the performance.
It's all around
Yeah.
the choreography
Thank
that
you.
gives it that feel.
Beautiful.
And yeah, 100%. These guys were completely fooled being here in the press center that the box was moving around and around.
I
and
think that
around.
was just me not understanding how it works.
But no, it really came across well, and you can tell that Ollie actually wants to be here.
Yeah.
He really is selling this performance. He's really giving it his all, and he wants to do well.
Yeah.
Even with some of the criticism that he's received.
100%. I mean, just to think 3 years ago we had polyphony trumpets on stage and like the tiniest bit of pyro. Now we've got this. I mean, this seems like the kind of staging you might see from someone like Sweden or Norway, maybe, like, you know, but to have, you know, this staging coming from, you know, the UK is just incredible. The glow up we've seen, what can shift over, is really quite incredible. So hats off to Ollie and the BBC team, the UK team, who smashed it this year. But let's go back to the live chat.
Oh yeah. Actually, yeah. Don't worry, Jess.
You think Ukraine will win the first semi-final? I do think they could be a contender to win.
Yeah, I mean, I think they will do very well. The way they've incorporated and built the Lion King-esque rock at the top, and it has the fireworks sort of coming down. It is really quite moving as she builds into the song. It comes across beautifully.
Yeah.
So I don't think they have any issue breaking their record of not qualifying.
Yeah,
so.
definitely not. I mean, I don't think there ever will be a day where Ukraine sends something that's not going to qualify. So yeah, Laura Fernandez, you think Portugal will qualify? Somebody's on my side. Lee Fern, you think your island could win this semi-final? Okay. And then go on for a top 5 on Saturday. Your only worry is how juries will take it.
Yeah, I mean, it is 100% different. There's nothing like it in the contest, so it will stand out and it will leave that lasting impression, regardless if it's a jury or a televoter. So you're not going to forget this entry, whether you like the song or not. You're not going to forget it. And
100% agree with you there. Dennis, I don't know how you pronounce the name, I do apologise. You think this year we'll have a 2016 result when the winner will be second with juries and telly?
Okay.
I do think the winner potentially is not winning jury or telly this year.
Yep.
But we shall wait and see. Let's see, I think Marzipan 541. What about Poland? What are your thoughts on Luna's staging performance we saw today?
So obviously the tower is all based around the chess sort of metaphor. She uses the horses and the chess pieces to sort of incorporate this. She goes up the tower. I mean, on a normal year, I think this could stand out. And
when you say a normal year, is this not normal?
Well, no. I mean, it's because I think a lot of the performances have really stepped up their game, and I think Poland could struggle to qualify if another song, if this song was given by another country, because Poland has that. Diaspora all over,
and we have rest of the world votes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're going to squeak in. So I mean, I love Luna. She's lovely. But there's just something about it that it feels like it's missing something.
Okay.
That even though there's quite a bit going on stage, it just feels like it's missing a little something, and I can't put my finger on it.
I mean, I think for me, they've done quite an ambitious staging this year, and I kind of am reminded of the phrase "less is more."
Yeah.
And I think it would work if they'd stripped it back a little bit, had less going on. I think if she could focus more on performing the song and getting the vocals out, which are still good, you know, by the way, I think that would be better. But there's a lot going on, and it's obviously some of it's very literal by having towers on stage, and it kind of seems a bit, okay, the song is about towers, let's add a tower. It's a bit kind of like polystyrene trumpets, you know.
Yeah, there's lots of costume changes, you know. There's a lot going on that, again, you could get lost in the performance. That's something you don't want to do.
Exactly. You could get lost, but also it might be a way to draw the viewer in, perhaps, and they might kind of be quite engaged and thinking, okay, this is quite something, I'm quite enjoying this. So at the moment, I have Poland down as a qualifier, just because I think the song is very radio friendly, it's poppy, you do have a little diaspora, so I think they could just make it into the top 10. I think. LET, you think that you have more chance of winning the lottery than Ireland does of qualifying? I think it's the opposite for me.
Yeah, I think they're going to run away. I think you're going to be very surprised when the results come in on Saturday.
Yep. And we have Roy Bailey in the house, who thinks Ireland has the best staging. I think from this semi-final, I would potentially say this is the best staging from this semi-final.
Yeah, I mean, it arguably could be the best staging this year.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
Definitely in the top 5 for sure.
Let's see. We've got, what about Moldova?
Yep, Nectar's asking about Moldova. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, she, bless her, she gives it her all.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And she's there on her own. So, you know, she hasn't got lots of things happening to, you know, try and catch the eye or sort of confuse people. But it just, I don't know, it comes across a little bit boring. Maybe it's because it's too simple.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the fact where it builds and she whips out the violin and she has the angel wings. I like the way the song builds, but unfortunately, the way it comes across against the other entries this year, I think it's forgettable.
Yeah, I would have to say the same. I remember when I was watching it with Clara in the press centre, and the word that sprung to our minds was uninspiring. I think Natalia is giving probably some of the best vocals of the semi-final, and you know, you can tell that she is, you know, a very experienced performer. While she looks and sounds great on stage, there's nothing really happening, because at least in the national final we had kind of, as I call them, the Natalia copycats, the clones. But it's essentially her with not a huge amount going on the backdrop, and it's all quite a bit plain and a bit uninspiring until we get the angel wings coming through when she's playing the violin. So I think this is 100% just going to get lost in the mix. I think people are going to forget this when it's in amongst your, like, your Croatians, your Luxembourgs, your Lithuanians, for example. Sadly, I don't see this. I think this would be a surprise qualifier if it does go through.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it has. I think it has the ability to finish last in the semi, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's a shame. I love Natalia. I love the song, but I don't think it's meant to be this year, sadly. Right, Bailey, you're going to miss the semi-final. No, could you not get the time off work?
Oh my goodness.
Tell them it's like a matter of urgency.
Absolutely, it's life or death.
Because it is, really. Drows, you're saying Italy overtook Ukraine in the bookmakers. Okay. I don't know what to say about that.
We haven't seen Italy yet, so in their full performance. Obviously, they will be performing during the second semi.
Yep.
Let's see.
So Misha asks, you're asking your thoughts on Luxembourg. We have spoken about Luxembourg, but I think we're all in agreement that they have a good performance.
Yeah.
And that I think they're going to qualify. Fred's a bit unsure.
Yeah, I think if they do qualify, they will just squeak through. I think the thing that will be carrying them through is the fact that they're performing last, and that last 30 seconds of the performance is quite strong. Yeah.
Lifa, and exactly how can you miss a Eurovision semi-final?
Exactly. You book holiday.
Yeah, let's see. Is it Kokica? You're saying Serbia will stand out between so much hard pop songs. Serbia will have televote friends from Croatia and Serbia. Portugal will love this. Ireland too. Serbia have a big diaspora in Germany and Sweden. I think you make a good point that it will stand out because it's a very Balkan ballad amongst pop, upbeat, up-tempo. But watching the show from start to finish, I kind of forgot about it towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's performing in the death slot, which is number 2. So you start, especially with the way the opener of the semi-finals with Elena, Chanel, and Eric really bringing the house down. Then you lead into Cyprus, really sort of kicking it off as well. And then she just, again, as Clara was saying, she just brings the whole tone down.
Yeah.
So you
but not in a bad way, though, in a good way.
It just the contest is booming, it's building, and then it just sort of it falls that slight bit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I'd like to be proven wrong because she has a lovely voice. So.
But I think, you know, with such a strong opener with Cyprus, and then straight after Serbia, Lithuania, which comes across, which is very eye-catching on stage, a big one. I think it's just going to get lost in the mix. I think if there was juries in the semi-final, she could get through. But with televote only, I think she's going to struggle. If she does make it, I think she'll just make it into the top 10, sadly.
Okay.
Perhaps maybe a later running order could have helped her a little bit, but I'm not so sure.
Okay, so any of the countries that we haven't spoken about yet?
Lithuania, not really.
No, again, this is a bop.
Yeah.
We think it's a guaranteed qualifier.
I mean, for me and Andy, when it was showing in the press centre, we both thought, could this be a dark horse surprise winner of Eurovision?
Okay, wow.
That was the vibe I was getting. I don't know about you, Fred.
I was in the arena, so again, I see it from a very different point of view. He actually isn't doing much on stage. But the way they use the lighting makes it look like a lot more is happening. But no, it just comes across, and that bass, you just can't get away from it.
So catchy.
It's dead cert for me.
Televoters are going to eat this up. And I think juries are going to appreciate this in the final.
Yes, 100%.
100%.
So we've spoken about Croatia. Ireland. We've spoken about
Iceland. Mother
okay.
Hera Björk. I love you so much, Hera Björk. You are a legend.
I mean, she is our angel. She flew up on her little perch, showing that she's not scared of heights. But unfortunately, I think that's where it's going to end for her in this semi-final. The song is a little bit dated. I even say that the outfit and the way the staging is portrayed is a little bit dated as well. I love her. And don't get me wrong, I'm a massive Hera fan.
Me too.
And I will be boogieing with her at Euroclub 100%. She's such a queen, but I don't see this qualifying. I don't see it coming last.
No.
But
I think it will just miss out.
Yeah, I think it will just miss out.
I think Hera has probably some of the best and strongest vocals from this semi-final. The notes that she can hit, just incredible. I really like the colours of the staging. The colours and all of the lighting that we have looks incredible. It's a lovely kind of golden colour, which we see Hera wearing as well. But I think in terms of the song, it is a bit underwhelming in comparison to a lot of other entries in the semi-final. And I think it's a bit dated, a bit too cheesy. I think it's going to struggle to get enough votes, sadly. But nevertheless, she can be so proud, her and her backing singers, of the incredible performance they've given.
I don't think she's going to leave the stage thinking, "Oh, I wish I could have done that." She's such a seasoned professional. She loves to be here. She loves to be a part of the contest, and we love her for it.
Yeah.
So let's see. Next, we've got
sad times.
Finland. Oh, we haven't spoken about Finland.
No.
Good Lord. How could you not forget about having a denim egg?
That's had a glow up on the Eurovision stage. I mean...
anybody who saw the denim egg make its appearance on the turquoise carpet as well.
I mean, this is Eurovision after all, so I don't know why I'm surprised. But a walking denim egg, that was new to me.
Yeah, really, really quite special. This is, I think this epitomizes the novelty aspect of Eurovision and hits it in the right way. I think we're going to see something slightly different in semi-final 2.
Yeah.
But I think the way this aspect comes through is it has that 90s vibe, and he 100% goes for it with the outfits, the staging, the double denim. 100% aspect. he's not leaving anything to chance here. It's the innuendo aspect of him being naked. There's nothing left here that you're going to walk away thinking, wow, did I just watch that?
Yes. For me, this is 100 million% qualifying. I don't see a world where this would never qualify. Gosh, watching that today was just like so fun.
Yeah.
And so happy.
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking to myself, televoters are going to absolutely love everything about this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those that it makes you smile. Again, whether you like the song or not, I challenge you to not laugh at something for that performance. So
100%. So the Denim Egg is in the final. You heard it here first. Right, Bailey, you think Finland could be a shock non-qualifier? I mean, I guess if they didn't qualify, it would be a shock. Yeah.
But I think it's a dead cert, unfortunately. I mean, not unfortunately, because I enjoy. It's fun. It's just fun. So, anybody else that we've missed? We've spoken.
Interesting take.
No, I think we've done everyone.
Azerbaijan, we haven't really spoken about.
Okay, yes.
Another one that's in danger, I think. Are you in agreement?
Yeah, I mean, this is their first entry that's actually has elements of their national language, which I commend them for. Mm-hmm. But again, it loses the impact. It's such an emotional song, and all you end up seeing are these two massive hands and the sparkly head in the background.
Yeah, that's weird, a bit weird.
And I think it sort of disconnects from what they're trying to portray in the song around love being the fifth element. Again, this was explained to me by the songwriter himself, which is actually one of the performers. Mm-hmm. And again, a beautiful sentiment, but I'm not sure that comes across on stage very well. And I think it could struggle to qualify. Yeah. If it does, it's going to squeak in, but I think this is possibly a non-qualifier.
Yeah, again, I think this is a song that would benefit from juries in the semi-final.
Yes.
I mean, on the one hand, it's one of the few ballads in this semi-final. It's much more toned down and toned back compared to a lot of other songs and stagings in this semi, which could potentially work in their favour.
Yeah.
But at the same time, is it a bit too toned down and easily forgettable that people will not vote?
We're saying there's only this ballad and there's only this ballad. There's actually three ballads.
I know, I've realised now I'm adding ballads.
We're adding ballads as we go. But no, I think of all three ballads, this one probably has the strongest performance of it.
Okay.
I mean, again, they all have very strong vocals, but I think of the three, I think this has the best chance to squeak in.
Okay. For me, that would be Portugal. But, vocal-wise, just stunning. Both FAHREE and Ilkin. I mean, chills, goosebumps, 100%. Just from those vocals alone. But guys in the chat, are you Azerbaijan fans this year? Do you think they're going to qualify? Let us know. I think we're probably going to get I think we're going to get ready to wrap this video up soon.
We just need to mention, obviously, the already qualifiers. Obviously, we mentioned Ollie and his staging, but obviously we also saw Germany
of course,
and Sweden for the first time.
Okay.
So Germany, obviously, as we saw the sort of metal railings sort of being put all around, and there's just a fire element from all aspects. I don't know, Isaac, he delivers it well, but I think, again, from another country, this song could do better. From Germany, I think this could struggle and could be in the bottom 5 again for Germany. I mean, he's got, again, a beautiful voice, but I think they went too much with fire. And it sort of takes away from him. But I guess he's not a mover. He's not a. He tries to give it, the oomph. And when you're trying to deliver that and sell it on stage, I guess he needed that background to sort of to show that, and it doesn't work for me, unfortunately.
I mean, I think he does give it oomph with his vocals. Because,
oh yeah, definitely.
He's really going for it with the vocals. As per usual, I'm on the fence again, as I will remain for the rest of this week, probably.
Shocker!
I know, right? Just on the fence. But no, on the one hand, juries are definitely going to appreciate this. This is giving me jury vibes, and I think they're going to give this, quite a respectable score. Televoters, I don't think will go for this so much, because when you look at some of the more obvious qualifiers from the semi-finals, like Switzerland, Croatia, Lithuania, for example, they're obviously much stronger, more competitive songs in Germany. So I think people would be more inclined to vote for them as opposed to Germany. So on the one hand, I'm thinking, well, juries are going to love this. They're going to give it a high score. So potentially they could push Germany outside of the bottom 5, and they could help them to climb the scoreboard. But then on the other hand, I'm thinking it's not the most memorable or, out there song. And I think the staging elements of it work, but elements of it don't work. For me, there's too much fire on stage. Maybe less fire would be better. So I'm thinking, so I just don't know. Hello? I have no idea.
Yeah, I just, I feel bad for them because he can sing, but I just feel this get lost. Sweden, on the other hand, again, not massively different from their Melfast performance, but wow, the way they deliver on stage, and it grows. So you start off with the vertical club sequence, and as the cubes rise, and it becomes this sort of matrix that they're getting down in. I think this could be. I think this is going to do a lot better than people expect it to. I guess a lot of people discount Sweden because they just are the fast food of pop. But I think this comes across really well, and I think the twins really deliver it well.
I was very impressed watching their performance today, Clara. What did you think of Sweden?
Yeah, so Clara, I know you've always said that you struggle with the boys. They don't really give it to you personally. How did it come across to you?
I think that it's very well. I found that the theme was like futuristic, and I don't. It was a little chaotic at the ending because the colors changed too fast. Sorry, I'm trying to look this thingy, and I'm not sure if I'm succeeding, but if I sit maybe this way,
yes,
better,
lovely,
and everyone more comfortable. So I think that it's a song that's not for my target age, which is 30 to 40. And I think it's a song that is going to connect very well with the TikTokers and with the people that are more tech. I'm more artsy, and there's an element of sci-fi, I guess, in the performance, or like there's no nuance to the colors. They're very colorful, and for me, it's just not connecting. They have amazing vocals. There's no fault in the vocals. There's nothing to fault, and they dance amazing. It's just like either the camera angles go too fast and the lights are too flashy, or I don't know. It's not my favorite, but the voice are lovely.
Yeah.
I think they sell it well, and I'd like to. Well, I'm 18 at heart, so maybe that's why I love it so much. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's going to surprise everyone and definitely be another top 10 finish for Sweden.
I think so. I mean, the song doesn't really appeal to me very much, but the staging, I think, is incredible. So I think Sweden are going to get another great result this year. But guys in the live chat, obviously you haven't seen the full performances yet, but based on the TikTok clips and YouTube clips we've seen, what are your thoughts on the first 3 automatic qualifiers, United Kingdom, Germany and Sweden? What are your thoughts on the stagings and the photos you've seen? Let us know in the comments below. ESC Nerd, is this your first on the fence of the season? Quite possibly. I was on the fence for Germany, Clara. But going back to Germany, actually, Clara, what do you think of their staging?
Oh, I don't see how it relates to the song, to be honest, because there's nothing in that staging that suggests he's always on the run, because he's also sitting down. And
Yes.
there's fire. It's like his living room has caught fire.
But then again, maybe he's sitting down because he's always on the run and he's tired. And he's, I don't know.
That's a good way of
actually.
reading it.
It's a bit of a silly way to read it, but
Yeah.
Julia J, you are asking, what do you think about the host and the show overall?
Oh, it's the best
Come on,
part.
Fred.
Petra is amazing. Malin is great. Don't get me wrong. Love Malin, but Petra is back, and she is back, baby. She's knocking out her one-liners nonstop, and I can't wait for you to see it. Again, another iconic hosting, and she's 100% going to go down as one of the most memorable, most loved hosts of Eurovision.
And what do you think of Petra and Marlon as a duo? Do you think they work well together from what you've seen?
I think it's an interesting. Again, she drops a joke about that. I won't spoil it for you, but it works. I think it works well from the point of view that you've got somebody who lives in Sweden and really sort of really knows the comedic aspect, because the Swedes, they have no problem taking the piss out of themselves, and they do it all the time, and they love it. Whereas Melin, obviously, she lives in Hollywood. She's so it's a very different type of humor. So I'm not sure the jokes she lands as well, but she's charming. I you know, she's coming across lovely, but Petra, my queen.
Everybody's queen.
We live in your world. We're just here to honor you.
Yeah, I think Marlon is like a more toned down version of Petra, maybe you could say, but still equally as, you know, stunning overall. Gosh, let's go back to the chat. Jan Slam, you're asking, why did Croatia overtake Switzerland for number one in the
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, originally from the first little clip that Croatia had released, I think they released the worst 30 seconds of their clip.
Mm-hmm.
So people weren't really buying into the performance, but I think they've done enough, and I think they're going to walk this semi quite easily.
Yeah, 100%. And of course, on this video, we have spoken about all of the countries in semi-final one. So in the comments, let us know who you think is going to qualify, who you think could be a non-qualifier. Are there going to be any shocks or surprises? Drop your comments and questions in the comments section, and we will try to get to as many as possible. Lee Fern's asking, Hannah Waddingham or Petra Mede? For you, that's obvious, of course.
Well, I love Petra, but I love Hannah as well. I've seen her in lots of different things. She was amazing last year in Eurovision. She's hosted the Oliviers. Anybody who knows her stuff, she's 100% professional. She called somebody out the other day on the red carpet for trying to get her to show some leg, and she said, "How dare you? You'd never ask a male host to do that."
Don't you want to show your leg?
Yeah, well, I can show my leg. Woo! But no, I think Hannah is iconic, and she's possibly the future of Eurovision if it comes back to the UK again. But because Sweden have done so well at the contest, and Petra's now on her third time hosting, I think Petra's got it in this case at the moment.
Well, for me, my vote would go for Hannah Waddingham. As much as I love Petra, there was just something about Hannah that was just incredible, in my opinion.
For me, it would be Petra.
Okay. We have been outvoted. What do you guys think in the chat? Hannah or Petra? Let us know. Jam Slam, you think Australia will be a non-qualifier? I think you're in the same camp as Fred. I think Australia are qualifying. What about you, Clara?
I don't see it qualifying at the moment in a only televote semi-final, unfortunately, because it's there's, as I said at the beginning of the live stream, there's too many pieces on the stage, and they don't necessarily. The timing is even the timing of when they show them on stage or how they are shown on stage. There's like very little cohesion in my opinion. But the vocals are amazing.
Yeah, 100%. ESC, do you say Hannah and Petra hosting together, the universe will implode?
Oh my God, that's my gay Eurovision super fantasy.
Gosh, no, that would be a hosting and a half.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't think any hosting would be able to top that. Let's go back. No, we will not go back. Sorry, guys. So, Rave, you liked Alicia Dixon. I loved Alicia. She was my favorite host from last year.
I love Alicia.
Yep. So, what are some countries that you think are 100 definitely percent qualifying from semi-final 1? You have no doubt in your mind they're qualifying.
No doubt in my mind that Croatia, Finland, and Lithuania, I think, are the dead certs.
Yeah.
I think it would be silly for anyone to bet against Ukraine.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to draw my dead certs there. I'm going to dead certs my 4.
Okay.
But
so that was Ukraine. I've totally forgotten even though you said it just a minute ago. Ukraine, Lithuania,
Croatia, and Finland.
Yes, okay.
They're the 4 that I think are dead cert.
I would agree with you on those ones. I think I would probably add Luxembourg to the mix as a dead cert qualifier as well. But I think all of the other ones, I think I would either say is definitely not qualifying or is borderline.
Yeah, they all fall into that category where if one thing goes wrong on the night, it could go in a different direction.
Yeah. So, of course, going to the other side of things, and in the chat, guys, let us know who you think is 100% qualifying. But on the other end, who do you think really you can't see them making it at all in the semi-final? Oh, are we still looking?
Sorry?
Earth to Fred?
Sorry, I thought Clara was giving hers, and then she just left.
It's fine.
Yeah, I left because I feel like you guys were doing okay.
Okay, technical issues.
No, it's fine. No, I gave my dead certs.
So, Clara, who do you think is 100 million% qualifying? No doubt about it.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
Ukraine, Lithuania, Croatia.
We forgot Ireland.
Ireland for me is not a certain qualifier.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, I think it will qualify.
It's still, I think I expected more. More in the
more from what?
no, but like more in the this.
Yes.
Okay. Let me see if I see.
Maybe if we shift.
Are you back here for the shows?
Yes, that's better.
Perfect.
Well,
no, but I mean, you're back here in the
why don't I think?
Or
it's because it looks quite empty. There's a lot of things going on, but the composition of the screen is empty. Like, I would love to see better photos. Or like, they're too taken too wide. Some of the shots are very well put together, but there's like when the candles are going up, and there's Bambi Thug in the middle, and there's like some elements there, and there. It's just not complete. The structure of the shot is not aesthetical enough for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting take on that.
I think this stands out. It's one of the best stagings, I think, of the contest this year.
Yeah, I agree.
But Queen of Camera Angles has spoken.
To be fair, in the first chorus, when they go, I guess the backdrop suddenly super pink and very bright, and Yeah, I think if they would have stuck on a different color palette, because there's like obviously they have to make a drastic change from part to part, but
because
that sync it doesn't work.
Okay, fair enough. It obviously there's light and shade in this performance because you've got the two different types of songs sort of running together. So I think it works to go something a bit softer for the ballad aspect. I don't know if Pink would necessarily be what I'd have chosen, but
I understand that there's a costume reveal, and I do understand that that's the same Pink of the costume reveal. But it should have been matizado. It should have been hued better.
See, you're speaking to the artist here.
Sorry, I'm not a fan person.
They should have come and gotten advice from Clara. They would have helped. She would have told them exactly what to do, and they would have won.
EBU higher power next year.
She knows her stuff.
I know my colors. I might not know taxes, what I'm currently working on, but I know my colors.
Okay, well, for me it's a bit disjointed with the two different, like the kind of more rocky screaming part of the song and then the lighter part of the song. But I think the staging is so incredible and the song is very strong that I think it's more likely to qualify than not qualify. Right, Bailey, you think that Ireland is a dead cert in your opinion? Eves, you think Ireland will qualify? Carlos Barati are asking how all the countries in semi-final were rehearsed. Yes. So obviously last week we had all of the rehearsals, first and second rehearsals for semi-final 1, semi-final 2 and the automatic qualifiers. Today we now have the dress rehearsals for semi-final 1 ahead of the live show tomorrow. Lee Fern, you're saying, no, I've lost you, I found you. You're saying the same as before. Semi-final 1 rehearsal, Croatia, Ireland, Lithuania, Ukraine, you think are definitely qualifying.
I would agree. Well done, Lee.
Right, Bailey disagrees with Clara, sorry. I shall tell her that. So which countries do you think are going to struggle to make it in the top 10 in this semi? And guys in the chat, let us know. What do you think as well?
Yeah, so I think the ones that are not qualifying, and I'd be shocked if they did, would be Iceland, Moldova, and I'm going to say Slovenia, actually. I was going to throw Azerbaijan in there, but I've got a little bit of a soft spot for it. But no, I think those are the three that I think are definitely not qualifying.
Yeah, I think I would agree for the most part. I think Moldova is going to struggle to qualify, the same with Iceland. I think Azerbaijan might struggle to qualify, sadly, as well. Slovenia, I kind of have Slovenia borderline. I think either they'll just make it or they'll just miss out. I'm on the fence. Again, I'm undecided which way it's going to go. I've seen people mentioning Poland. Whilst it's maybe not the strongest song in the semi-final, I think the fact that it's a radio-friendly pop song and they have a lot of diaspora, I think that can push them into the final. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the number of years that the UK alone have given 12 points to Poland, it just shows how much power that diaspora has across the community. And there's no other country, I think, in this the semi-final that has the reach that they do. So even though it's not the strongest song in this semi, I think they will scrape through. And I think Luna delivers it well, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I think with that aspect, I think she will scrape through.
Okay. So we are now just the two of us. Just the two of us.
Indeed.
Right, you're talking about Poland. Simon Azerbaijan, you think Ireland will be top 5 in the final?
Okay.
It's a bold statement to make. Eves or Eves, you think Iceland is like a song from the 80s. It was like going back in time. I personally wouldn't say 80s, but it does feel like a throwback song.
Yeah,
sure.
it feels like 90s Irish music, that sort of soft.
I know what you mean.
Pop. But I take Lee's comment. He's mentioned that he thinks Portugal will also struggle to qualify. Again, they're in my mid camp. Because again, she's just got a beautiful vocal. I just don't think it translates on the stage as well as it should do. So yeah, I think Portugal could struggle.
Speaking of Portugal, Carlos is asking how the rehearsal was, how the performance was.
Again, she delivers it well. We were discussing Portugal earlier, and Chris mentioned that for those who speak Portuguese, the story is told beautifully, but for the majority of the audience that don't speak Portuguese, I don't think that story is told in the same sort of way. The outfits are all white. There's very little going on. So I don't think the stories comes across to me. Again, beautiful voice, but it kind of sort of leaves me cold because I don't know how I should feel about it. Because even if it had some simple imagery from a teardrop, or to really sort of, I guess, portray the message that they were trying to send, I just think it lacks that.
I mean, for me, Portugal is visually and vocally absolutely stunning and incredible on stage. I love the white colouring. I love the dancers. I may not fully understand, what's going on, but I love it anyway. I personally am drawn into it, and I think that I'm leaning more towards qualification than I am non-qualification for Portugal. Rolf Hans, do you think Poland and Serbia are definitely qualifying because of a big diaspora? Potentially that could help them. Why, Bailey, you think Serbia is a non-qualifier as Australia is qualifying?
Okay.
We have Vitan Tran from Vietnam.
Oh, hello
to you. What time is it in Vietnam now? I would have no idea.
No.
Welcome.
Right. Well, if you're a new subscriber, thank you.
Yes.
If not, please subscribe.
Yep. And he's asking or she, I don't know the name. What do you guys think of the postcards this year? You obviously haven't seen the show as of yet, but we've seen they're actually showing clips of some of the famous songs from each of the countries leading into their performance. So actually it's less of a postcard than what we're used to. I think they'll possibly leave the postcards to the final. Again, we don't really know, but I think it's quite a nostalgic throwback for me. I must say it was great to see all of those sort of wow or sort of iconic moments from each of the different countries that are performing. So I really loved to see that, especially being a slightly older member of the audience. But older 21? Impossible.
No, 19. But no, I really enjoyed that aspect. What did you think?
Yeah, I really like the postcards. It's an interesting concept they've gone with, and as Fred mentioned at the very beginning, we hear two former songs, like short snippets of songs from that country, and then we get this year's representative kind of selfieing themselves around their country, around whatever city they're in their country. And what I love about the postcards is like the shape, the geometrical shapes of them, because there's lots of different like screens and then like a border. And for me, it's just visually appealing to me. I just love it so much. I think you're going to like the postcards, guys.
I mean, anybody who's a fan of the contest, I think will like this sort of thing, because even if you are unfamiliar with songs of yesteryear, it brings that sort of nostalgic element. I mean, it's like, oh wow, I've never heard that song. Actually, I should go and listen. That's a bit of a banger. That sort of thing.
And obviously, because some countries have been in Eurovision for longer than others, with some, like the UK and Luxembourg, for example, you get black and white performances coming up. But with a country like Moldova, it's obviously more recent. So it's a nice spread from all over the years.
So it's 1 a.m. in Vietnam. Oh my goodness.
Thank you for subscribing.
Yeah, I think I hope you've had an energy drink or
Yes.
some coffee to keep you going. Bless you.
Yep. Thank you for joining us at 1 a.m. Lifa, and you remember Telimovic being a fan favourite and they finished bottom 2 in SME? Yep. And Sir had qualified over him, which is incredible still to this day. But I think we're probably going to get ready to wrap it up soon. But let's go to a comment by Nectar. Do you think it needs to add much more juries in semi-finals for giving more chances for the... Okay, so do you think we
The
need
jury
juries
should go back.
So what do you think of them removing the juries from the semis?
I think it's fairer, obviously, for all the countries to be able to be on the same sort of level pegging.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you enter a certain style of song, you're automatically going to get some favoritism.
Yes.
From the juries from that point of view.
But also with televote, then you could argue.
100%.
Yeah.
But I guess stripping them out means that it's down to you guys, the audience, to decide. So it's down to you to decide who's going to go through to the final. So it gives the power back to us, and I think that's a reason why the EBU has changed that, because we've complained and campaigned for it over the years to say, actually, we think this song would have qualified, but juries instead had this through. So I'm in two camps, because I think the jury do recognize quality, whereas sometimes some of the quality does get overlooked from the televote. But again, either way you pitch it, someone's not going to be happy.
Exactly.
So I think leaving it to the televoters' hands, I think, is probably the best way to go.
Yeah.
But arguably, maybe they could do an additional country of jury. I don't know how you do that, but or possibly have a jury selection, it like they've done in the past, have sort of an 11th qualifier.
Yeah, like a wild card.
Yeah, like a wild card, a joker. But I personally think if we leave it to the public to decide, I think that's obviously the best way to go. What did you think?
I mean, I understand the reasons why they removed the juries from the semi-finals after the whole scandal in 2022. I personally would like to see them back in the semi-finals, because ultimately, as we've obviously had this year and last year, there are many songs that would appeal more to juries and televoters that potentially then won't get the chance to qualify, just purely because there's not the market for them voting in that semi-final. So potentially they might be at a disadvantage compared to some other songs, for example. And I think having 100% televote opens the door for entries like Let's 3 from last year or Finland from this year, for example, kind of that mid-2000s televote era of songs qualifying. I think I would like to see the juries back in the semi-final, but potentially, instead of having a 50-50 split, it could be maybe 60 televote, 40 jury. So if there are any kind of shenanigans going on within the juries, it may not have as big of an impact as it did in 2022, for example, potentially. Maybe that could be a way to go about to have them in there a little bit and then have them 50-50 in the final. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's if they split it, I like, well, this is my own personal opinion, I like the idea of having a jury pick, or a joker or a wild card, or maybe possibly the top 8 go through from the televote, and the juries get their top 2. So I think that way, I guess it would be fair from both camps, but I still think it's fair to give the public their voice. If the public want songs like Finland to be there, then they have that choice to do that. like I said, it's pure fun. So I think it would be a shame for them not to be there just because the juries don't think it's quality.
Exactly.
So
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you're never going to please everyone.
Yeah.
And also, the system is never going to be 100% perfect, whichever way you do it. So who knows? Maybe in the future the juries will come back. You never know.
Yep.
Gosh, let's go back. Lee Fern, you think the jury should never have been removed from the semis? You think it should be 50-50? Remember what happened in 2007 with 100% televote? I don't remember what happened. I think maybe it was to do with the countries that qualified. I don't know.
I'm trying to think.
PWR Scotty, thoughts on Ireland? We have spoken about Ireland, but very quickly, we both love Ireland staging. We think it's great. I think it has a good chance to qualify. I think.
Yeah, I think it's a dead cert. I know Clara doesn't think it's a dead cert, but I think Ireland could go on to be a top 5 finish, or at least a top 10, because it just stands out so much, and it's quality storytelling. It's like a 3-minute film,
exactly,
or a Buffy episode. But yeah, you can't not forget Ireland. And I mean, when's the last time we've been able to say that?
I know.
It's been eons since we can actually say you're not going to forget this entry. And again, Ireland are now, are still tied with Sweden for the most amount of wins.
Yes.
This could potentially, this way of thinking could potentially put them back in the running.
Yeah. But guys, I think Rye Bailey, you're saying it's like a Tim Burton musical.
Yeah, I 100% get that. Yeah.
Yep. So I think we're going to get ready to wrap it up now, and we're going to come back tomorrow for some big shocks.
Indeed.
I think there are going to be some big shocks.
Yes. I think we're going to do a live tonight after the first public dress rehearsal.
Yep.
Because obviously this dress rehearsal was only sold by the press.
Yep.
So again, we'll see if there any thoughts will change upon that.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've got the family show in the afternoon, and then we have the live in the evening.
Yep. So thank you for joining our video today, and stay tuned for more videos like this, more live videos, more reaction videos, more interviews as well, coming soon straight to you. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. But until then, bye.
Love you.